Okay, hello. I hope everyone's having a great night. I hope you can all see me and hear me. There is a comment section on the side. If you guys see that, drop me a comment. Let me know you're here. Can you just say hello? All right. Welcome. This is so exciting. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm here. This is my first live stream ever. This is flipping awesome. So anyway, if you are new, you don't know who I am. I'm Jackie Baker. I'm a realtor in Bergen County. Hey, Jen. Hi. Thanks for watching. I am a realtor here in Bergen County, New Jersey. So for those of you who don't know who I am, that's who I am. So thank you for being here. A little bit of a history. This is, I'm 2 years now into my YouTube channel and putting out content every week. And I felt it was important to start doing live streams, to start communicating with my community, my viewers, which by the way, I hit 1,000 subscribers this summer and I am so excited about that. So for all of you who subscribed, thank you so much. It was just amazing. And it's just so exciting to watch that community grow. So, oh my gosh, hey Bonnie. Kathy Williams in the house. Thank you for joining. I have my friend Kathy from Orlando. You're awesome, Kathy. Thank you. So, Tanny MKM, hello from New York City. Well, hello, welcome. Thanks for being here. Okay, so the whole point of this, why I'm doing this every week, is I want to stay in touch. I want to keep everybody up to date on what's going on in the Bergen County market. A lot of crazy stuff has gone on the past year with this real estate market, if you haven't heard, unless you're living under a rock. But so I wanted to just give like a weekly update and also share stories from my experience of what's going on out there in the real world of real estate. I'm out there every day, living, breathing it. And I'd like to share with you like the experiences that my clients are having, what I'm having, and hopefully it would help you if you're in that market right now to buy or sell a house. So the first thing I want to go over is I'm just going to briefly go over some market stats because everybody is getting the feeling that the market's slowing down a little bit. And Javier, thank you. How are you? So excited. So I want to go over some market stats. I want to talk about what happened this summer because everybody was feeling this shift. Okay. And everyone's starting to wonder, oh my God, are we crashing? Is the market crashing? No, we're not. Have we slowed down? Yes. So let me go over some numbers with you. And then I'll get into some other good stuff we'll talk about. By the way, if you have questions, you have comments, go ahead, go in that chat over there, drop a question. Anything that I'm mentioning you want more details about or just a general question, let me know. All right, so I did a video last week. I dropped a video last Wednesday. The title was, Are Home Prices Coming Down? Yeah, we saw that happen a little bit this summer. So let me share some numbers with you. And I am kind of repeating what I had on that video, but I just figured if there are people here that didn't watch it, I'll share it with you now. So very interesting summer we had. So I printed the numbers for August. Okay, so in August in Bergen County, this year, there were 925 homes that sold in the month of August. Now, if you look back a year ago to August of 2020, there were 946 homes that sold last August. So we had a slight decrease, a little bit of a decrease in the number of homes that sold. Like, okay, we kind of saw that, not as many homes were on the market beginning of the summer. So, okay. But here's the interesting thing. So the median sold price for this August in Bergen County was $649,000. Last August in 2020, it was $590,000. So it was a 10% increase year over year, okay, from this August to last August. And what was interesting is this is the first month all year that we haven't seen as high of a increase in prices. So here's a perfect example. Back in June, the median sold price was a 19% increase year over year in June. So almost 20%, like, oh my God, everyone's like, oh, let's sell our houses now. The prices are up 20%. But keep in mind, those homes went under contract, say in April or March, okay? That's when the frenzy was happening. And if you're in this market, you lived it, you know what I'm talking about. It was insane. Like, I remember standing in line for like an hour to go to an open house with my clients. Like multiple bids, like just unheard of. Prices going 10, 20, 30 and higher, thousands of dollars over asking price. So April timeframe, March, that's when it was the craziest. So obviously those prices were reflected in June. We saw the price increase to 20% because all those homes had closed. Now, beginning of the summer, and I saw this and I mentioned this in my video, we saw it slow down, and it was like that overnight. I saw it happen. I listed a couple of condos in June, and it was like crickets. And I priced them right. It was, there was no question about the price. All the realtors who had seen it were like, no, your house is priced perfectly, just my client's not interested. And we weren't having as much activity. I'm like, okay, here we go. It's slowing down. But when you look at it, like comparing it to last year, we were just in a normal summer market. And it just, it wasn't crashing. It just, what we were experiencing was a normal summer market. Look, the pandemic, the restrictions had been lifted. Everybody was down to Jersey Shore, or they took off somewhere else, and nobody was around. The buyer demand had dropped off. Now we go into August. I listed a house in August, and it was a really hot price point. It was less than $350,000. This first week of August. Under $350,000, we had over 100 groups of people preview the home over a 3-day period, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 12 offers. I was like, oh crap, we're back again. We're back to this insane market. But bottom line was, it was a hot price. Obviously it went over asking, but it didn't go too high over asking, which is very interesting. So I think buyers are also aware that you're not seeing the appraisals being waived as much anymore. That was a big thing back in the spring. If you're going to submit an offer over asking price, you really should waive the appraisal. Didn't see that. And on all these offers I got, nobody was waiving the appraisal. Interesting. So that is affecting the market too. I mean, people are willing to pay, but not pay too much. Okay, so that's very, very interesting stuff there. Let me just check. Anybody else on here with me? Okay. Now, looking at just this week alone, from last Tuesday to this Tuesday, September 7th to the 14th, the market comparing to last year, it's pretty much the same. We're not seeing nothing major as far as new listings that have come on the market in the past week. In Bergen County, there's only been 261 new homes to the market. Now, last year, there were, at this time, it was 274. So we have a little bit less on the market compared to this last year, but it's by what, 7 or whatever? Or I don't even know what that is. I can't even do my math right now. Sorry. Anyway, it's pretty much stayed the same. Inventory is still low. Bottom line, it's still low in Bergen. Although houses are sitting on the market a little bit longer, depending on the price point. So some of you buyers out there may be in luck. You see a house sitting there for like a week or two, which, yeah, that's a long time compared to what we saw in the spring, like how long a house should be on the market. If it doesn't go within the first few days, people are starting to worry, like, holy crap, what's wrong with the house? But I think it's just starting to go back to a little bit of normal market, what we've been used to in the past. Is it going to pick up again? Are we going to have this frenzy of bidding wars again in the fall? I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'm going out tomorrow to meet some buyers. We're going to look at 3 homes. These homes already have offers on them. And we're just going to go in and hopefully put our offer in and hope for the best. So, so that's where we're at right now. Hi, Jen. I hope I'm entertaining you. So that's what's going on. A couple of other things I want to add about what's going on in in Jersey right now with regards to Hurricane Ida. As you know, Jersey got hit really bad. So bad, I mean, I couldn't believe there were people that were actually killed. There was a major tornado that ripped through South Jersey. I mean, just really scary stuff, a lot of flooding. So with that, FEMA has declared Bergen County a disaster area. So what has happened, anybody that's under contract right now, that's buying a house, two things that are happening. So if you had an appraisal done, obviously when you had an appraisal done before the storm, so now the lenders are coming back and they're asking for an affidavit signed by the seller stating that there was no damage done to their home as a result of the hurricane. Now, if you had an appraisal waiver certificate, whereas the lender they waived the appraisal and they were comfortable with the value of the home comparing to the other homes that sold in the neighborhood, so there was no appraisal done. The bank just said, okay, this value is good. It ties in with the rest of the market. What they're doing is then they're going to send out an appraiser to go back and check that home out, the exterior, interior, just to make sure there was no flooding, no damage to the house as a result of the storm. So a lot of closings this month are going to be delayed because they need to get out and do these appraisals again. So if anybody's in the market right now that has, sorry, Jen, I got a little distracted. So if you're buying a house right now, you're probably going to see a little delay in your closing because of Hurricane Ida and the disaster and all that stuff. So, Jen, your question, do you see a big surge in people wanting to get out of the city during the shutdown? Absolutely. Absolutely. Believe it or not, there are still people moving out here from the city. When that house that I listed in Bergenfield, that was under $350,000, I can't tell you how many people were from New York City. New York City, the Bronx, they're still coming. It's not as bad as it was. It wasn't not as big of a frenzy as it was in the beginning of the pandemic, but they're still coming out here. As a matter of fact, I just closed a house in Glen Rock with a family that came out here from Manhattan. They packed up their kids and moved out here, and they were like so happy. They're loving life in Jersey. So yeah. But you know, it's not as crazy, but they're still coming for sure. Thanks, Jen. Thanks for the question. Okay. So another thing I wanted to bring up, another video I'd done a couple weeks ago about the New Jersey Eviction Moratorium. So if you watch that went in to explain about what Jersey's eviction moratorium is all about. So Jersey's one of the few states that passed their own law regarding the eviction moratorium, that it's different from the federal one that was established. And as you all know, they tried to extend that. The CDC tried to extend it, but then the Supreme Court said, can't do it. It has to be passed through Congress. You can't CDC can't, it's not a legislative branch. They can't make that decision and just go ahead and extend it. So Jersey renters are still safe until the end of the year. What's that going to do as far as when it expires? What's going to happen? Is there going to be a lot of homelessness? Is there going to be, are there going to be foreclosures on these multifamily or rental properties that these landlords own? It's hard to say at this point. Right now, there's about between 50 and 60,000 cases in the New Jersey state court system between the landlord and tenants, where they're going to, they're working out getting the owed rent back to them. And what the courts are trying to do is they're trying to get these things settled before even going to a trial. So, but it's almost 60,000 cases. Oh my God, that's going to take a while. Yeah. So that's what's going on with that. I'm going to keep an eye on that one too. It'd be interesting to see what's going to happen if any of those properties will end up foreclosing because these landlords weren't able to collect the rent. And New Jersey also has a homeowners assistance program. I forget how much money it is. It was a ridiculous amount of money that they put into this. The only problem is it hasn't become available yet. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but I'm not going to I'll keep my mouth shut. But that program has not been opened up yet. So I put a link to that on that video to have people go check out the link to sign up to get updates on when that program is going to open up and when they can apply for that assistance, just to stay updated on it. So, all right, what else do we have going on? Okay, so quick story time. All right, so I want to share with you guys when things go awry in a deal, and I just had that happen today. And I have people, when I'm showing houses, buyers get nervous when they're looking at a house and there's, if it's an older house and, oh my God, there's going to be issues with this, it's an old house, or, oh my God, this is in a rural area, it's on the septic. Look, New Jersey is a very buyer-friendly state. And what I have learned that, you can walk away. You can walk away, and it's... we favor the state just favors the buyers. The laws are always in the favor of the buyers. So today, I unfortunately had a deal fall apart because of a septic issue. Now, this was located out in Morris County. It wasn't in Bergen. And there was a problem with the septic. And the septic inspector came out for my buyers and said the septic was failing. Hadn't failed, it was failing. And he recommended that the system be replaced. Well, lo and behold, the seller, remember, I'm only representing the buyers on this. The seller got his own septic inspector to check it out, see what was what, and his septic inspector found the same thing, and he even said it was failing. Problem was, my buyers wanted a new septic system. The seller said he's only going to make repairs. So unfortunately, that deal fell apart because my buyers were just not happy about that. They needed a septic system, and I don't blame them. I mean, septic systems can run, good God, between $25,000 $30,000. So I don't blame them at all. So unfortunately, that fell apart, but we're back in the trenches again tomorrow to go look for another house, and I'm confident we'll find something. They know what they want. They're gung-ho. They're ready to get another one, or find another one. But so just keep in mind, you're out looking for a house, and you're scared of these things. Look, fine, if you don't want a house that has a septic system, that's totally fine. I get that. But if you're nervous about it, this is what home inspections are for. Okay, and you have to have a separate inspection with the septic system anyway. So should anything go wrong, look, the seller has to replace, if it's failing or it's failed, seller has to replace it. Or if parts of it have failed, they have to repair it. You have to, you can't close unless they do that. So keep that in mind. But when there's a discrepancy there and the buyer and seller can't agree on inspection issues, they can part ways. The buyer can walk away from that. So that's what they did. So that's what's going on with that. Does anybody have any questions? Jen, you got anything else for me? No? So this has been a lot of fun. Oh, hi, Bonnie. Okay, so Bonnie's asking, what are your thoughts on clients doing inspections just for safety, environmental, structural? It gave an edge when clients were up against multiple offers, but it's still risky. Yes, Bonnie, I totally agree with you. So here's what I do. If there's a seller's disclosure, I always check to see the age of the furnace, water heater, the roof, because they have to state all that information on there. If everything is in like recent years, like say within the last 10 years, the furnace has been put in, the water heater's been put in like a couple of years ago, and the AC is fairly new. Those things are fairly new. We feel more comfortable just going in and saying, when we put an offer in, we limit the inspections to structural, environmental, and mechanical or safety issues. So what that's saying, in case people want to know, Well, I'll go to elaborate a little bit what I'm talking about. In these bidding wars, so what's happening is we want to have a competitive edge over the other buyers. So what people have been doing is they're waiving, not waiving inspections, but they're limiting their inspections to include structural, environmental, and help me out here, mechanical. Oh my God, sorry. So with that, why do we do that? That's telling the seller that you're not going to nitpick. You're only looking at the major parts of the house to make sure everything's in good working order. You're saying you're not going to go into, asking for outlets to be fixed, or you want the light switch to be repaired, things like that. You're not going in and asking for these little things. So that's what we've been doing a lot. And yeah, I agree, Bonnie, it is risky. So this is why we always check the seller's disclosure. When we are previewing the home, I always check the dates for myself. I look at the furnace, the water heater, things like that, to get an idea of how old they are, if there is no seller's disclosure. But listen, at the end of the day, it's up to the buyer what they want to do. It always comes down to how bad do they want it, right? So if they want it bad enough and they're saying, the hell with it, I don't care, I want the house, let's waive inspections altogether. I've had that too. Where somebody wanted a house bad enough, but I try to guide them and say, you know what, we got to go for at least structural, environmental, and mechanical, if we don't have the details on what the ages are of those things. So, but that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be doing a video. I can't believe, Bonnie, you brought this up. I'm going to be doing a video in a couple of weeks talking about waiving the inspections, because I think nowadays we're not seeing that as much with people waiving them. Because at least the house I just listed where I had the 12 offers, hardly anybody offered to waive inspections. Interesting. Anyway, okay, I have another question from Austin. Looking to buy my first home in about 3 months. Ideally, I would want to get a multiplex. Which are the best rental towns to target? A video on this would be very cool. Thank you, Austin. That is a great idea. I think I will do a video about that. I will tell you the best rental towns, you want to be close to New York City. A perfect example, last year I helped a guy who found me on my channel. He found me on YouTube. He was in Manhattan and he bought a multifamily house in Teaneck, which was really cool. I mean, Teaneck is very close to the city and he did very well on this house. So it was he lived they were taking over the bottom floor and they had a tenant that was on the upstairs, and that rent that they were collecting from that tenant was paying the mortgage. So it worked out beautifully. So Austin, reach out. I would definitely, I would love to help you with that. There are plenty of options in that area, but I think rental towns, I definitely say the closer to New York City, the better. You do very well. So, reach out to me. I would love to talk to you about that more in detail. But yes, and I will do a video about that. Thank you so much. So I love this. You guys are giving me content ideas. This is great. So, all right. Oh my God, I'm 25 minutes in. I didn't think I was going to last this long. You are welcome, Austin. So let's connect. Let's talk about that. What else can I share with you? So the market is just, it's still busy, because of this low inventory. Like I said, I'm going out tomorrow. I'm looking at 3 houses. Wish us luck. I hope we get one of these houses, but I know it's going to be competitive again. It's good times. So, when listing a home, what do you expect from the buyer? Not sure what you mean, Jen. What do we expect from a buyer from listing a home? We expect a good price. If you're coming in right when it comes on the market, give us a asking price. That's what we're looking for. Kathy, are homes sitting on the market longer? Yes, depending on the price point and the towns. we are seeing them sit a little bit longer. I know here in my town in Mawa, I was just looking at it today, there are several homes that have been sitting out there for like over 30 days. Yeah, that's a long time. So that's kind of telling us that, I mean, personally, I think some of those homes were overpriced when they put it out there in the market. But again, as always, it goes down, it comes back to, it comes back to pricing your home. You have to price it according to the market, right? And Kathy, I'm sure you're seeing this down in Florida. You know, I found that speaking with, potential sellers, I go on listing appointments and they want to list their home like $1 million, whatever, just throwing a number out there. But when I'm showing them comps, saying this is what has sold, okay? And the market in this town has only increased, however much, percentage, they still don't get it because they're watching the news and they're seeing, hey, oh my God, this is like such a crazy real estate market. Prices are up, 24% nationwide. Okay, that's nationwide, but that's not, you got to look at your local market, it goes down to like as local as your specific neighborhood. You have to see what the homes have sold in that market. So, it's just kind of frustrating because I'm getting like, I'll meet with sellers and listen, I'm as honest as the day is long, right? So I'm going to tell them, and I asked them, I'm going to ask them, like, how motivated are you to sell this house? Where do you need to go? What's your time frame? And if they're just in it to say, oh, the market's doing great, I just want to see what I can get for it. All right, that's great, but don't price it so high thinking you're going to get that price, because buyers have gotten more savvy in this market since the beginning of the year. They're watching the comps just as much as the agents watch the comps, and they see what homes are selling for. So my advice to anybody who's thinking of selling, trust what the market is saying. Go with what the current numbers are at. You go any higher than that, you're guaranteed you're going to be sitting on the market. So, okay. Oh, Jen, you clarified for me. I meant sellers. What are some things sellers can do to assist in the sale of their home? Thanks, Jen. Well, first of all, the first thing, like I said right there, be realistic about your price, okay? Don't get caught up in this frenzy, this market, thinking you're going to make $1 million. You're going to list it for $1 million, and you're going to get that. You got to be realistic about the price. The second thing, if you want to sell quickly, you got to get the house ready. That means decluttering. You might have to paint. Repairs. I highly recommend getting a pre-home inspection. Bring in an inspector. I've had a couple of clients do this. They brought in a home inspector before putting it on the market. They get that home inspector's point of view and make recommendations on things that they should repair before they list it. So when it comes time for the buyer's home inspection, they've already got it covered. So totally worth the $500-600 that an inspector charges. So well worth the money. And also staging, right, Jen? I totally recommend staging the home to make it look, just make it look appealing to buyers. Buyers need to visualize themselves in your house. So make it neutral. You want to make it inviting. And yeah, so it does take a little time to put some work into your house before you get on the market. But if you want top dollar for that house, you got to put a little effort in, maybe a little bit of money into it to just spruce it up and make it show ready. So, Kathy, I know you're having, I know we spoke earlier, I know down in Florida, it's kind of you're experiencing the same thing. We were comparing notes today, and so Florida's been seeing the same thing in their market. It's been a little bit slower this summer. It hasn't been as crazy. So, by the way, I'm going to put this out there. Next week, my friend Kathy is going to be joining me from Orlando, and we're going to be talking about the pros and cons, I guess, or like all about moving to Florida, because we do have a lot of New Jersey people that are still flocking to Florida. Gee, I don't know why. I don't know why they'd want to go to Florida, But anyway, I'm so excited to have Kathy Williams join me next week. That's going to be the same time next Tuesday at 8 o'clock. And we're going to have a little bit of a chat about the Florida market and what's been the most appealing to us Northerners with coming down to Florida. And we're going to talk about their taxes, what types of neighborhoods and retirement communities are in the Orlando area. So I'm super excited about that. I don't see any other questions. Does anybody else have questions? Because I think that's all I have for now. I survived a half an hour. Oh my God, I'm very excited. Oh. Let me see. Forgive me, but saying your name, Pikaka? Why hasn't, I'm sorry, I'm bad at that. Why hasn't the ferry become more popular among those commuting to Manhattan for work? I heard it's always on time and not very crowded. Are you saying like recently? Because I think before the pandemic, the ferry was popular. I mean, I've always known it to be. With people who live down in Weehawken, Jersey City area, people were always taking the ferry. My thing is now, I think with commuting, because of the pandemic, you're going to see a lot more people driving. People are still kind of nervous to get on public transportation. Look at the traffic that we had all summer. I don't know about you, but holy crap. I couldn't believe how bad the traffic was. Like going down to the shore, it took us almost 4.5 hours to get to Cape May when it normally takes us 3 hours. Going to Boston, my son goes to school in Boston, and we were coming home. I went to pick him up and bringing him home. It took me 5 hours to get back from Boston, which normally takes like 3.5. There's a lot more cars on the road. And so I think my gut is telling me the ferry's not going on because not being utilized. I think now because people don't want to take public transportation. That's my guess. But that's a good question. Thanks for asking that one. Is there anything else I can answer for you guys? Anything? Bueller? All right, so not bad for my first live stream. You guys are awesome. I hope you all come back again. Remember next week, and I'm going to be posting it on Facebook. Kathy Williams, my realtor friend from Orlando, my fellow YouTube agent, she's going to be joining me, and so excited about that. I'm so excited to be doing these live streams. This is going to be so much fun, and I hope they become more interactive, and I just hope you all get something out of it too. As always, you know where my contact information is. It's in the description boxes and the videos that I post. Stay tuned. Thank you, Jen. I'm glad you learned a lot. So stay tuned. Tomorrow's video will be, tomorrow's video is probably going to go out a little bit late. My editor has, unfortunately, she's in quarantine right now. She tested positive for COVID, so I had to get a different editor to do tomorrow's video. But that one's a good topic. It's all about purchasing an investment property out of state, which is something my husband and I just did last month. Yeah, so that's a good video. So I'm excited about that. You are so welcome, Bonnie. Thank you for watching. All right. Thank you guys so much. This is amazing. I'm so glad you all came on here. And I will see you next week. Same time, same bat channel, 8 o'clock on Tuesday. All right. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.